called the Harrier. You'll be able to go up and get some altitude. Now, the easiest way to enter this I have found, and the way I tell everybody, is to pull the throttle back and add up elevator so that it keeps the airplane flying at the same rate of altitude. Okay. Now you just have just enough elevator as you're flying it around to keep the altitude set. Use the elevator to control the angle of attack. As you can see right there, I'm not completely buried on the elevator, and I'm using just enough throttle to keep it airborne, keep it flying at the same height. Now in this configuration you can also fly it, you can steer it around with the rudder, as I'm doing right here. You can steer, just add a little left and add a little bit of right. You can steer it back and forth, and the wings are still flying also, even though it's in this high angle of attack. Okay, now the reason they call it a Harrier is due to the Harrier jump jet, where it's actually flying at a very slow airspeed. So probably one of the key elements here is hard to get used to is that you don't pull the tail underneath the airplane. It's pretty easy to do, but if you add too much power and too much elevator, and I'll show you when I come back around here, you can actually pull the tail and you end up flipping it over on its back or ending up into a torque roll. So the key thing is just setting the right altitude and the right angle of attack, and flying the throttle and the elevator to hold it there, and then steer it around with the rudder and the ailerons. Okay, so we'll do one more pass coming across here so you can actually see the angle of attack. Now you can see what my stick movement, and once you get it set, it becomes pretty stable and flies pretty much on its own. So it's just a matter of controlling it around with the aileron and the rudder to steer it, and then using the elevator and the throttle to control your altitude. That's the
We will now begin a maneuver that is called the High Alpha Harrier Roll. This is no doubt one of the most challenging 3D maneuvers to perform. In this tutorial, I will begin by giving you an example of what this maneuver looks like, and then by breaking up the maneuver individually into a few key maneuvers that you must first become proficient at performing. First, here's our demonstration of what this maneuver looks like. Slowing the model down and adding full left aileron. Positive angle of attack on the fuselage is necessary, and to keep this fuselage staying at a positive angle of attack, you must utilize throttle, elevator, and rudder inputs. First, as an aerobatic pilot, you must be able to perform the slow roll. To recap, orient the model parallel to the runway, roll left, holding right rudder right now, releasing, now holding left rudder to maintain flight, and exiting the maneuver in upright level flight. Throughout the slow roll, the pilot must make corrections with both rudder and elevator to keep the model tracking perfectly straight. Once you can perform this with ease, you're ready to try the next maneuver, which is performing multiple rolls at a slow speed. Thus, use low rate. Apply full left aileron, and you will have to do elevator and rudder corrections, but everything will be slow, so you should be able to keep up with the model. Just take notice the way the model reacts to different attitudes. Then, try to get the nose so it sits slightly at a positive angle of attack, like so. While this is in a High Alpha Harrier roll, it helps the pilot become proficient with the inputs that are required to perform the Harrier roll. Exit this maneuver, and now let's give the High Alpha Harrier roll a try. Slowing the model down, using a little up elevator to get a positive angle of attack, apply full left aileron. Keep the aileron deflection the same. Then, apply rudder and elevator inputs and throttle to maintain a positive angle of attack. Now, you're performing the High Alpha Harrier roll. When you're ready to exit, simply release aileron, upright level flight, add power, and you have completed the maneuver.